On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy under fire this morning by fellow GOP lawmakers. Will tell you why his seat is in jeopardy. And a manhunt is underway in Wharton. Police say this man is a person of interest in a shooting on Jefferson early Sunday. We have how you can help police track him down. Plus, the crisis at the border is getting more difficult by the day as large groups of migrants continue to arrive and demand asylum. The details on this story and more coming up on Sunrise.
And we're going to be talking about that finally cold front coming to our area Thursday late, as maybe see some 80s in the forecast. Take a look at that in the weather coming up.
The Texans and Cowboys got the win, but who do the Patriots put in at quarterback? I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the second day of October 2023. The time is now 6:31 on our Monday morning, and it's National Fried Scallops Day. Yum.
I can't say I've had those actually.
Oh, you haven't had scallops?
I actually cannot say I've had that.
So my favorite way to have scallops, bacon wrapped. Bacon wrapped fried scallops is so delicious, so
Okay,
yum.
correct me if I'm wrong. I might be a little silly for this.
It's okay.
Scallops or seafood, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm not a big seafood person. That's probably why I didn't know about it.
They come in like it's kind of like a shell, kind of like an oyster.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking what
soft.
it was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking what
so
it was.
yummy. Be careful because you can bite your tongue easily because
Really?
the consistency is a little different. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep that in mind if I ever try them. Thank you, Caroline.
No problem,
Caroline's
Parker.
looking out for me. Thank you.
Gotta look out for my
sure.
meteorologist co-anchor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a look out for you right now as we're taking a look at this cold front finally coming to our area Thursday. As what we're looking at right now, this is the setup right now. We've got this low pressure that came out of Western Canada just a few days ago. It's going to move northeast into the Dakotas by Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's going to slingshot this polar low that's coming out of Canada by Wednesday and Thursday all the way down south, and that's what's going to bring us this giant cold front. It's going to dip all the way down into our neck of the woods late Thursday going into maybe even Friday morning, bring us even some rain chances as well. Talk about those temperatures for today though, about 74 right now, 73, and it's going to heat up to about 91, 92 as an afternoon high for us at the Crossroads, mid-low 90s for the rest of the area like Hallettsville, Cuero, Goliad, and Carson City as well. Take a look at a couple of showers out there and thunderstorms right now. Got a storm that just moved through Refugio, and it's kind of dissipated mostly off right now, so not expecting anything severe. Maybe just a little light 34 mile wind gust is the maximum, and maybe some heavy rain as well with that. Look at your 7-day today, about 92 is that afternoon high today. 91 tomorrow. Consistent slow cool down until that front gets here, and what is that? 80 degrees? Can we possibly tap into 70s, Carolina? We'll see. Maybe, just maybe. We got. Right, we got our fingers crossed that we can get those 70s. But we'll take a look at that more in the full forecast coming right up in just a moment. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz plans to file a motion to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy this week. It comes after Senate and House members voted Saturday night to pass a short-term bill to keep the government funded through November 17th. In his response, McCarthy told Gaetz to, quote, bring it on, and said he would survive attempts to remove him as Speaker. Under the rules adopted earlier this year, any Republican lawmaker can call for a motion to vacate the Speaker's chair, and the House would have to vote on it within 2 legislative days. However, it's not clear that Gaetz has enough votes to oust McCarthy. A man was shot multiple times while sitting in his vehicle Sunday, and now Wharton police are trying to track down the suspected gunman. Police say eyewitnesses are pointing at Zane LeCap of Wharton as a suspected shooter. Here's a look at our suspect. A warrant issued for his arrest this morning. Police say LeCap opened fire on Jalen Tolbert as he sat in his car early Sunday in the 700 block of Jefferson. Tolbert was shot multiple times and airlifted to a Houston hospital with life-threatening injuries. Although an arrest warrant is issued, police say the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information about Zane LeCap's whereabouts, you can submit tips safely and anonymously at www.p3tips.com. Your anonymous tips could lead to a cash reward. Now to the desperate search for a 9-year-old girl who seemingly vanished from a state park in New York. Authorities say she was riding her bike with friends around a loop when she decided to go around one more time by herself.
This morning, a massive search underway for a 9-year-old girl who went missing while on a family camping trip in upstate New York.
They came here to just have an ordinary time. The kids could have a chance to be in nature, have a chance to be kids. But instead, the day turned into every parent's nightmare.
Charlotte Senna was last seen Saturday evening in Moreau Lake State Park, north of Albany. Officials say she was riding her bike around a loop with other kids when she decided to go around once more alone.
She just wanted to go around one more time by herself. Be that big girl, do it by herself. Literally 15 minutes later, she hadn't come back yet. And that's really when the nightmare begins.
30 minutes later, her bike was found on that loop, but there was no sign of Charlotte, her mother calling 911 to report her missing. More than 100 searchers, including police, forest rangers, and residents from the area, combing the state park from the air and the ground, hoping to find Charlotte. Yesterday, authorities issuing an Amber Alert, believing Charlotte had been taken.
After that exhaustive search, when we couldn't find her here, it was quite possible that an abduction had taken place.
We are leaving no stone, no branch, no table, no cabin unturned, untouched, unexamined in our search to find Charlotte.
Charlotte's family describing her as a joyful fourth grader who had just been elected to the student council. She was last seen wearing this orange tie-dye Pokemon shirt. Police asking the public to call in with any information that could lead them to her.
We continue to dedicate all resources that we can to find Charlotte and bring her home safely.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Police are searching a lake at the park. In a statement, Charlotte's family saying they just want to return safely. Large groups of migrants, mostly from Venezuela, continue to arrive at the U.S.-Mexico border to present themselves to American authorities and demand asylum. Video showed Venezuelan migrants making their way across the Rio Grande into El Paso and Eagle Pass, where they awaited processing. Large numbers of migrants are crossing into the U.S. from Mexico, piling pressure on from the Biden administration to stem the flow of people as the 2024 presidential election race begins to heat up. The dramatic surge of migrants along the U.S. southern border marks a turning point after illegal migration had plummeted in recent months. Firefighters battled a large fire at a vacant apartment complex in south central El Paso Sunday night. Crews were called out to R. Salazar Park Memorial Apartment Complex around 7 p.m. Flames and smoke could be seen for miles around El Paso when firefighters arrived on the scene. 18 fire units and 55 firefighters were on the scene to battle the blaze. They were able to contain the fire by 9 p.m. Authorities say nearby buildings escaped damage and no injuries were reported. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, who collapsed on the field 9 months ago after suffering cardiac arrest, was on the team's active roster Sunday against the Miami Dolphins for the first time this season. Hamlin appeared on Buffalo's opening kickoff coverage team. He also saw more action on special teams during the divisional matchup, but didn't record a tackle. He says, or rather, he has worked hard to get back to the regular season NFL football after collapsing on the field in Cincinnati January 2nd, suffering cardiac arrest. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on your Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. More than 75,000 healthcare workers could walk off the job, and it would be the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history.
Congress now facing a new November deadline to fund the government after brokering a bipartisan deal over the weekend, one that could cost House Speaker Kevin McCarthy his job. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with that and more from Washington.
And we'll be talking about those showers and thunderstorms out there right now and what is to come today as we take a look at the full forecast coming right up. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Got a live look at Cuero as that sun is finally starting to come up. Nice purple sky slowly starting to show itself. The conditions are also quite nice out there right now. 73 degrees is that ambient temperature, and the dew point up to 70s, bringing the humidity to a 90%. So it is a little humid, a little groggy out there, but we are all very familiar with that, of course. 73 degrees if you're sending your kiddos off to school this morning. So that temperature outside, and partly cloudy as they're getting on the bus, and as they're coming back home, about 92 degrees and partly cloudy skies is that afternoon temperature about 3-4 p.m. when they're coming back home. We've got a couple showers and thunderstorms out there right now. Got a strong thunderstorm coming into Rockport probably the next 20 minutes. We'll be taking a close look at that here in just a minute. But look at the future tracker in terms of rain today. About noontime, nothing going on. About late afternoon is when we might see some showers and things start developing. Now, take a look at your 7-day. About 92 today is that high, 91 tomorrow. Those rain chances are going to pick up as that front comes in. And look at that, 80 degrees, maybe even tapping into the 70s this weekend as that front really comes through. That's it for those. We'll take a look at more in just a moment. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Texans and the Cowboys trying to get in the win column, and a local kid hit the field. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
The Houston Texans welcome the Pittsburgh Steelers into town looking for their second consecutive win, and the Texans wearing their battle red jerseys got a touchdown on their opening drive up early, 13-0 on the Steelers. They actually led 16-0 at the half. Houston's defense all afternoon relentless. When Pittsburgh came out swinging in the second half, they still only allowed a few field goals. Houston wins 30-6 and moves to 2-2. The Cowboys welcomed a familiar face in town, and Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys trying to get back in the win column after falling to Arizona last week. Dak Prescott connecting with CeeDee for an early TD. Later on in this one, Mac Jones fumbles. The Cowboys defense scored twice in this one. It got so bad for the Pats, they decided to go with Bailey Zappi in the third quarter. But the Cowboys did win 38-3. For his Harvey Relief Fund, J.J. Watt donated nearly $1 million to the food bank of the Golden Crescent that Robin Cadle says helped keep them in business. Well, yesterday, the Houston Texans inducted him into their Ring of Honor. He joins Texan great Andre Johnson. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, now it's time to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Now to Capitol Hill, where House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's job is on the line. Some fellow Republicans calling for his ouster after he worked with Democrats on an 11th hour deal to keep the government running. That threat comes as Congress now has until November 17th to work out a long-term government spending plan.
The bill is passed.
On the heels of a bipartisan deal to fund the government until November 17th and narrowly averting a shutdown, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy now facing fire from within his own party.
I am relentless, and I will continue to pursue this objective.
Florida House Republican Matt Gaetz threatening to introduce a motion that would allow House members to eject McCarthy from the speakership with a majority vote. Gaetz drubbing McCarthy for brokering a deal with Democrats and, quote, not reining in spending. McCarthy says he's determined to keep his gavel.
Bring it on, let's get over with it, and let's start governing.
After signing off on the short-term spending deal, President Biden slamming Republican leadership.
I'm sick and tired of the brinksmanship, and so are the American people.
The plan includes $16 billion in disaster aid relief, but forgoes funding for Ukraine, a non-starter for many House Republicans who instead want to boost border security spending. Republican Lindsey Graham saying senators are working on legislation to fund both priorities.
To the Republicans who say Ukraine doesn't matter to us, you're wrong. Respectfully, you're wrong. The war gets bigger, not smaller.
They're cowards!
And New York House Democrat Jamal Bowman is fighting Republican accusations that he was obstructing the House's work after setting off a fire alarm Saturday. ABC News obtaining this surveillance photo appearing to show Bowman activating a red alarm. Bowman calling it an innocent mistake, saying he was rushing to make a House vote and didn't know it would activate the whole building. The Capitol Police is now investigating that fire alarm incident as Speaker McCarthy is calling for an ethics investigation into Bowman, while some Republicans say Bowman should be expelled. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, should McCarthy be ousted as House Speaker? Okay, let's take a look. 27% of you say yes, and 73% of you say no. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:46 on your Monday morning. Still to come, at least one person was killed and several others were hurt following a shooting in North Omaha. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Xavier. Enjoy your day and be blessed. We love you from your family.
And happy birthday to Janet. Happy birthday, Nanny. All of your grandkids send their love to you.
Happy birthday, Janet. And happy birthday, Manuel. Wishing you the best always. You are valued, appreciated, and loved. May you have a blessed day that is as amazing as you are. Happy birthday, my love, from your lady.
And happy birthday. Well, good morning, Crossroads. We've got a couple showers and thunderstorms out there right now. Currently, we had a shower just go through Refugio, thunderstorm actually, producing maybe some tiny hail, maybe some pea-sized hail, and probably some 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We got another shower thunderstorm coming up towards Rockport, probably be there in the next 15-20 minutes. Is it look like a strong shower thunderstorm, maybe producing, like I said, some small hail in that one too, like maybe pea-size, maybe just a tiny bit bigger than that as well. Maybe also some strong winds at that. So nothing too concerning right now. But take a look at your rain chances for the rest of the day. Nothing really happening at noon. Things will start finally popping around the late afternoon. As you can see, this is the high resolution module. Nothing really going on in the late afternoon hour, but a couple things coming late afternoon here on the North American. As you can see, a couple things out south of us near Refugio. Maybe a couple things developing in our neck of the woods later in the afternoon. Well, the talk of the week this week is this low pressure system is going to give us a cold front and some cool weather and some rain finally coming through on Thursday. And we'll have a look at that and coming up in just a few more moments. For now, back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. More than 75,000 healthcare workers could walk off the job in what would be the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history. Unionized healthcare workers, including nurses and EMTs, are negotiating new contracts with Kaiser Permanente. Their original contract ended Saturday night. If a deal is not reached, the bargaining phase would continue. The earliest the strike could begin would be Wednesday. Affected facilities are in 5 states: California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, Virginia, as well as Washington, D.C. Unionized staff are asking for increased pay, job protections, and solutions to fix labor shortages. Kaiser Permanente representatives say talks are showing progress, but a plan is in place if a strike does happen. Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would have paid unemployment benefits to workers on strike. Senate Bill 799 would have allowed workers who are on strike for at least 2 weeks to collect unemployment checks from the state. But in Saturday's veto, Newsom said the bill would expand California's outstanding federal unemployment benefits debt, which is projected to be nearly $20 billion. Newsom also stated his support for workers in their right to strike. Still to come on Sunrise News to Know Before You Go. Former President Donald Trump has arrived in New York ahead of his court appearance today. At least one person was killed and several others were hurt following a shooting in North Omaha early Sunday morning. Authorities say the incident happened around 2:30 a.m. on Sunday at a gathering. A 16-year-old victim was found at the scene. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. 5 additional victims showed up at area hospitals by private vehicle. Their conditions are currently unknown. So far, no arrests are made. Former President Donald Trump has arrived in New York ahead of his court appearance today. He's expected to attend the opening of a civil fraud trial there. The $250 million lawsuit was filed by the New York Attorney General, who claims Trump and his adult sons exaggerated their business assets for years. New York Judge Arthur Engoron determined last week that Trump's financial statements were fraudulent. Trump and his sons have denied any wrongdoing. New Yorkers may wake up to hazy skies today. Mayor Eric Adams says smoke from Canadian wildfires may reach the city around sunrise. The state's Environmental Conservation Department is monitoring the situation. It says it expects the air quality will be in the moderate range. That means the air will pose some risk to people who are usually sensitive to air pollution. Health officials urge people to listen to their bodies, and if people begin to get a scratchy throat or watery eyes, they may want to head indoors. The City of Victoria City Council is set to meet today at 5 p.m. On the agenda is the approval of an agreement between the City of Victoria and Siddons Martin Emergency Group for the refurbishment of a 2009 Pierce Arrow pumper. They'll also consider approval of an annual purchase of uniforms for the Victoria Fire Department. Council members will also appoint a member to the Board of Health. Victoria County Commissioners set to meet at 10 a.m. today. That's on the Commissioners Court agenda, which also includes a proclamation for National 4-H Week, as well as the approval of a resolution nominating a candidate for the Victoria Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, a review of year-to-date numbers, and consideration of modifications to existing promotions at the Victoria Regional Airport. The traditional Nazareth Academy Fall Festival and Turkey Dinner took place yesterday at the Victoria Community Center. It marks the exciting return of the full festival experience, featuring a live auction, a silent auction, a raffle, children's games, and their famous turkey and dressing dinner. The money raised from this annual event is used to provide valuable learning experiences, resources, and staff support beyond what the budget can provide, as well as helping maintain facilities. This festival is the first since the start of the pandemic. Looks like a lot of fun. American households can now once again order up to 4 free COVID-19 rapid tests to be delivered to their doorstep. Read the story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now we have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker. Parker, those fall feels, they're coming, right?
Yes, that's coming this Thursday. As you can take a look, that sun's finally coming out, nice purple sky in Cuero. So conditions are quite nice right now, 73 degrees. Dew point 70, bringing the humidity to a 90%, so there's a little grog out there. But we do got some rain showers out there right now. Got a couple thunderstorms moving into Rockport, probably the next 10, 15 minutes. Not a little strong, but nothing severe. Maybe, if anything, really tiny hail, maybe pea size, or some maybe 30, 40-mile-an-hour wind gust. But in terms of rain today, we're not expecting much until maybe the late afternoon hour. Now, the talk of this week is that cooler weather coming as this low coming off Western Canada. It's going to move northeast to the Dakotas, and that's going to slingshot a polar low rather, from Canada into our area. Look at that this cold front spanning all the way from Texas up to the north, bringing that cooler weather and rain. Look, that would be lovely if we can get that. 7-day forecast, 92 today, 91 tomorrow, and there's that cold front Thursday with those daily rain chances, 90, 80s maybe even on the weekend. That's it for the weather. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your week. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join it for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.